I was surrounded by people, but I had never felt so alone. I smiled when they looked at me, but nobody knew what was happening inside. I laughed at the right moments, then cried when I got home at night. Nobody knew how many times I whispered your name in the dark. Nobody saw the tears on my pillow or the loneliness inside my heart. I kept saying I'm okay when I was barely holding on. I thought nobody could see me, but you did. When everyone was around me, but I still felt all alone. You heard the prayer I couldn't speak. You knew the pain I couldn't show. You were there when I thought I was alone. You were there when I had nowhere to go. When nobody saw the tears I cried, you stayed right by my side. You were there when I thought you were gone. You held me through the darkest night. When I couldn't find the strength to pray, you never walked away. You were there. There were nights I wish somebody would just ask me if I was okay. Not because I wanted answers, I just needed someone to stay. I was tired of being strong, tired of hiding what I felt, tired of carrying every question all by myself. I wondered if you could hear me.
I wondered
if you knew my name.
I wondered if my
prayers disappeared somewhere beyond the rain. But now I know you heard every silent cry. You saw every lonely night. You knew the words inside my heart before I could speak them out loud. You were there when I thought I was alone. You were there when I had nowhere to go. When nobody saw the tears I cried, you stayed right by my side. You were there when I thought you were gone. You held me through the darkest night. When I couldn't find the strength to pray, you never walked away. You were there. Maybe you're listening tonight, and nobody knows you're hurting. Maybe you're surrounded by people, but still feel completely alone. Maybe you're tired of pretending. Maybe you're tired of being strong. Listen, you don't have to hide from him. He sees you. He knows your tears. He knows your fears. He knows the nights you thought nobody cared. And even when you couldn't feel him, he was there. You were there when I thought I was alone. You were there when I couldn't make it on my own. When my heart was crying out in silence, you were listening all the time. You were there when I thought you had left. You were holding me when I had nothing left. I couldn't see you through the pain, but you never left me. You were there.
I wasn't forgotten.
I wasn't invisible.
I wasn't alone.
You saw me when nobody else did. You heard me when I couldn't speak.
You stayed
when I thought everyone had gone. You were there when I thought I was alone. You were there when I had nowhere to go, when nobody saw the tears I cried. You stayed right by my side. You were there when I thought you were gone. You held me through the darkest night. And now I know I never walked alone. You were there. You were there. You were there all along. So if you're crying tonight, if you're hurting behind a smile, if you're surrounded by people, but your heart still feels alone, remember this: you are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not alone. Because the one who saw you in the darkest night is still there. And he will never walk away. I cried in a room full of people, and nobody knew I was breaking. I looked into their eyes and smiled while my heart was slowly fading. I answered every question with, "I'm doing fine." But nobody knew what happened after midnight. When the lights went out, I sat alone with my thoughts. Every silence felt louder than the words I had lost. I wanted somebody to notice, I wanted somebody to stay, but everyone had their own lives, so I whispered your name. And when my voice was too weak to call, when I had no strength left at all, you found me in the silence. When I thought I had been forgotten, when everyone was gone, you stayed. When I couldn't find the words, you knew. When my heart was drowning in the darkness, I discovered I was never alone with you. When everyone walked away, you stayed. When I had nothing left to give, you held the pieces of my heart and reminded me that I could still live. You stayed. Oh, hey. There were mornings I didn't want to rise. I couldn't see a reason to try. I watched the world keep moving while I was standing still inside. I saw happy faces all around me, but I couldn't feel what they felt. I carried a sadness without a name, a pain I couldn't explain. I wondered if heaven was listening. I wondered if you could hear my prayer. I couldn't feel your presence, but you were already there. You were in every breath I took. You silence. Maybe you're wondering if anybody would notice if you disappeared behind your smile. Maybe you've been strong for everyone else, and nobody has asked who is holding you. Maybe you don't know how much longer you can carry this. Then hear this: you don't have to carry it alone. God sees the tears you never let fall in public. He knows the pain you never found the words to explain. And when you think there is nobody beside you, He is there. You were there in the room where I cried. You were there in the nights I couldn't sleep, yeah. When I questioned everything, when I couldn't believe anymore, I couldn't see you, I couldn't feel you, but you never left when everyone was gone.
You stayed.
When I couldn't find the words,
You knew.
when my heart was drowning in the darkness, I discovered I was never alone with you. When everyone walked away,
You stayed.
when I had nothing left to give, you held the pieces of my heart and reminded me that I could still live. And now I know
I was never abandoned.
I was never unseen.
I was never forgotten.
You were beside me through every broken dream.
Everyone was gone.
You stayed when I couldn't see the way,
You stayed.
when I thought nobody cared.
You stayed.
And if I have to walk through another night, I know I won't walk alone. So if you're hurting tonight, don't hide your tears. If you're tired tonight, you can rest. If you feel forgotten, look up. The one who saw you when nobody else did is still beside you. When everyone was gone,
You stayed.
He stayed. Hmm.